Good morning, friends. I'm Chris from Worthington Home. Eric and I are headed to Adamstown, Pennsylvania to do some antiquing and thrifting. We're going to be there for 2 days while Zach, who's home from college, watches the fur babies and does some house sitting for us. We've been wanting to make this trip for so long, and for one reason or another, it just hasn't happened. So I'm really excited to see what we can find. Let's hit the road. According to our calculations, this should be about a 4-hour drive. We'll see how we do. We're about to go over the Governor Mario M. Cuomo Bridge. It's a 3-mile twin-span bridge connecting Rockland and Westchester counties. It's located less than 20 miles north of New York City. It crosses one of the widest parts of the Hudson River and is known to be the longest bridge in New York State and features the longest bicycle and pedestrian path in the country. We're traveling over the bridge in the daytime, of course, but apparently it lights up at night and is sometimes illuminated with color to commemorate special events. If you go on the Governor Mario M. Cuomo Bridge website, there's a falcon cam. It allows you to see a nest box that provides shelter for a pair of peregrine falcons. When I checked it out, the birds were out and about, but I'll be sure to check back in with the falcons at some point. Now back to the thrifting adventures. We finally reached Pennsylvania, and here's the proof. We decided to stop at Fleetwood Antiques Mall. This is right on our way to Adamstown, and whenever Eric and I do a car trip, we love to just sort of putter around and see what we might find on our way. So this is very much in keeping with our tradition. This store has lots of interesting things on the outside, including these vintage cars, which I was not expecting. So if the outside is this good, maybe the inside will be too. I'll just be sure to ask this dog and maybe this goat. These are great Dutch signs. I'm wondering if I should pick one up. Of course, I don't know where it would go if I did, but I love the vibrant colors and the patterns, and these are very traditional. So it's fun to just kind of thumb through them. These owls are looking very wise. I like that there's the pair of them, and I'm also enjoying checking out these vintage thermoses in the bread box. And this is a nice Lenox pattern. I've sold this on my eBay store before. They want $75 for this nice stack, which is a fair price. This is a beautiful hope chest. I've never seen this particular pattern on a hope chest before, although I'm not a hope chest expert, God knows. This is a Lane hope chest, and they want $295 for it. This is such a beautiful tapestry. I love the expressions on their faces. $135 for this piece. I'm looking at this old scale. This came from a general store at one point. It's $110. It's so huge. And looking at it, I can just imagine how it must have looked sitting on a counter in an old store along with some of these other things. Here's a bird's eye view of the store so you can get a sense of how very spacious it is. And there's lots of really interesting furniture here. Check out all of the taxidermy. I'm definitely not in the market for a lot of dead animals hanging on my wall, but if I was, I would come here. This is such a great piece. I always think of this as a Hoosier cabinet, but I think that was a specific manufacturer. This one is made by Marsh. I had a piece just like this in my kitchen years ago, and not only was it beautiful and interesting, it was also really functional and good storage. I also really like this hall covered bowl. It has an interesting design on it that I've never seen before. This is a fantastic quilt rack, and I'm really excited. $35. I've been looking for one of these for so long, and I really like this one. It's nice and sturdy and has a great design. I think the size is perfect for me. Well, we just had fun, and now we're on to the next stop. We're about to head in. We're being very careful on these stairs. They are icy. We don't need to slip and fall on vacation. Let's see what they have. I want to take a quick peek at this antique and vintage sheet music. I used to have quite a bit of this in my own collection. I used to keep it on a piano back when I had a piano. I no longer have it, but I think they're really fun. Love the colors. These are very interesting pheasant planters, and I've never seen them before. I don't see a price on these, otherwise I would share it with you, but they're so interesting. They were made in Japan, and I wouldn't use them as a planter probably, but they could be interesting for decor in the fall time. I'm going down some stairs. There are lots of stairs in this place, so I can check out some of this furniture a little bit better. There's lots of really interesting pieces tucked into corners of this place. Check out those double sets of stairs. They lead to a very short landing. It's quite funny. This tin has a great look. It's very Dutch, which seems appropriate to where we are. I love the windmills on this and the little scenes and the hearth. It's a very charming piece. I like the colors as well. They want $24. I really like this picture. It tells such an interesting story. It looks like these two women are calling across the lake or river or whatever to that man on the other side, and it's signed. The frame is a little bit damaged, but it's an overall really great piece. This Barnum and Bailey circus sign is so very creepy in my opinion. This stuff is quite collectible. They want $185 for this. You couldn't pay me $185 to take it. Those were great stops, but I think now we're gonna finish going straight through until we get to Adamstown. We have a list of places we wanna check out and time is moving away from us. Here's our first stop. This is called Mad Hatter Antiques. I cannot wait to take a peek at this. I've heard lots of good things. Let's go inside. Lots of cases right off the bat, and they are filled with treasures. I'm looking at all of this beautiful Roseville. Oh my goodness, there are gorgeous pieces here. They are definitely not inexpensive, nor should they be, because Roseville is absolutely beautiful in my opinion. And I love the effect of seeing so much of it in one place. Love the pine cones on these. This is such a cute picture, $50 for this. I really thought about this one, but I didn't really have a great space for it, even though it would look pretty in our kitchen. Check out this massive store. I cannot even explain to you how big this place is. We're sort of standing around with our jaws open going, how do we even go through this huge place? I'm kind of in love with this picture. Look at these fabulous dogs. They have such wonderful, expressive faces, and I love the colors on this. This was made by Caledon, and they want $48. I have this garbage can at home. I bought mine on eBay. We had this when I was growing up as a kid, so it was a nostalgic move. They want $38 for this one. These are great Royal Albert teacups and saucers. I love the months of the year collection. It's so pretty. I've had a few pieces like this before. They want $20 each for this set, which seems fair given how beautiful they are. I'm loving this wooden decoupaged mushroom bag. That is a random sentence to say, but I am sticking to it. $20 for this piece. It is incredibly unique. I would not eat these mushrooms. What do you think? Oh my goodness, check out all of the crock trays. I have died and gone to crock heaven, I think. This pheasant is my favorite of the whole set. It's $85. I've never seen it before. It has fabulous colors, but I love them all. So many unique ones. Crock is so much fun. I can't get over how many fabulous vintage textiles are here. This is a huge collection. It must have taken the seller forever to wash and iron and display all of these amazing pieces, but it has such a cool effect, don't you think? I'm loving all of this Catherine Holm. It's got such a wonderful design. I have never picked one up to resell before because they tend to be pricey. This is awesome. This is a deck of cards holder. Isn't that so unique? $48 for that. It's from Germany. I have not seen a Johnson Brothers Friendly Village casserole before, so this is a first. They want $48 for this. I don't think it's very old, but it is pristine and it is fabulous. Okay, we're shifting gears now. We are headed to a thrift store because I want to check out something a little bit different. Here we are at Welcome Home Thrift Shops. This looks promising. I can't wait to see what's inside. I've read really good reviews about this place. Right off the bat, I'm checking out some of this artwork. There's so much here and it's on sale. I really like this piece. I think it's really charming. It's $16, but it's on sale, so the price is even better. There's a nice covered bridge over there and some other excellent pieces. I want to make sure I take it all in so I don't miss anything. Here's a nice collection of Lenox, and it's in a holiday pattern, which is 75% off. So I am very tempted by these pieces. This is a fabulous scale, the Viking it's called. It's so interesting. I love the label and I love the shape. $65. There's some beautiful Lenox pieces on this table. I think it has a great look. They're priced individually, so not good for reselling, but I like the effect. This is the Kingston pattern, and it is beautiful. This looks like Limoges, however, it is not. This was made in Austria. Sorry for the blurry footage here, but it does have a definite Limoges look, and I think it's beautiful. I also really love this plate. This plate is Limoges, only $3 for this, but I'm not going to pick it up because it's just a singleton. This is an awesome piece. I love the colors and the pattern. This is Arabia. It was made in Finland. I did some comps though, and $25 is about what it's going for, so I'm not going to pick it up. I wanted to show you the massive section of clothing in this place. It goes on and on and on. I'm not going to get too deeply into this because Eric is putting up with my thrifting, but he's eager to get back to the antiques. There he is. Okay, that was fun. And so now we're going to head back out and we're going to get back into antiques land. So we will just make our way to the car. Before we go, I wanted to show you the clock tower that's out front because I think it's awesome. This whole little area is very cute. It has like a definite village kind of feeling about it, which I find charming. Now we're at Time Matters Antiques Mall. Eric picked this place. I hope it has some good stuff. Well, if this isn't Eric's cup of tea, then I don't think he has tea or drinks tea or has ever seen tea, because these are all the kinds of things that he loves best. This is a really interesting advertising piece with the built-in thermometer. We have a bunch of little guys like this, but nothing at this scale. It's so unique. $125. This is funny. I remember seeing this Philip Morris guy on an episode of American Pickers. They were very excited to find it, if memory serves. Let's see what the price is on this piece. $195. It is definitely unique. This is a great old display piece. It looks really old. That would have been in some kind of sewing shop, I guess. And check out all the signs. This section of the store is so nicely displayed. I love the vibrant yellow background. It really makes everything pop. I never would have thought of painting a space that color, but it works. There's lots of interesting things in this space. I want to get a little closer look at this calendar. It's so sweet. Oh my goodness, it's got the little January 1920 calendar on it. And there's some great signs and things. This is awesome because this was made from the W.M. Rogers Manufacturing Company that was out of Hartford, Connecticut, and it's so unusual to see an original box of this age. These dessert knives are $42. I was tempted by them mostly just for the box, to tell you the truth. Here we have an awesome Woolworths mirror display. This is really cool. It's from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. They want $150 for it. It's so good. There's also a corner here full of dolls. So this store doesn't just have mantiques, it has stuff for everybody. And I thought you might get a kick out of seeing some of these dolls. We're at our next stop, Lancaster County Antique Center, LLC. We're gonna have to stop in here and see what's up, but first we're checking out the outside because there's so many interesting things displayed out here. Eric is definitely taking his time and enjoying all of these cool old things, like this whole display of ropes and a great old Santa. Let's go inside and see what they have. I collect these Ruby Flash souvenir cups when they feature Savin Rock Amusement Park on them. These are awesome. There's so much jewelry to look at. It's all so detailed. I'm trying to find a piece for my friend Margie, although I haven't had any luck yet. My eyes are peeled. This is a great tollwork metal box. It has a fabulous design. $35 for that. I really like the look of it very much. This booth is 20% off. There's lots of sales here today. This little box is really sweet as well. I like these canisters. I was surprised to find that they're plastic. I guess that makes them very easy to clean. $44 for the whole set. I just feel like the red is super vibrant and interesting. This whole booth is very cool. I wanted to show you this sign for $11. It's very cute. Little kitchen, you're my throne. From 'tis here and here alone that my rule is held supreme and I reign a royal queen. Here I come and day by day toil the precious hours away. This is a sign that doesn't work in my kitchen because I don't like to cook and I don't smile when doing it. We're headed upstairs to see what's on the second floor. It looks like it's packed full of vintage treasures, so I'm excited to see if I can unearth anything special. This is a fabulous sampler. I love the design on the bottom. Too bad it's not framed, but it's a great piece. This cute little kitty is reminding me of Iris. It has her same blue eyes. This was made by Lefton. It's nice that the original sticker is still there. Only $15, but I have lots of Iris representing in my house already. There's a big collection of salt and pepper shakers over here. I know there's lots of collectors of those. I like these birds in the back, so I want to get a closer look at them. Aren't they cute? No marking on the bottom. We are really thinking about this piece because we love it so much. It's $145. It's a great subject matter, great colors, but it's so large. I just don't think we have the wall space for this piece. We're at our last stop of the day. We're at Adam's Antiques. This is going to be a good place, I can tell. Let's go inside, see what they have. There's so much gorgeous glassware on this table, but I'm gonna point my camera up so you can really see the booth space. Look at how original and interesting this is. There's so much to take in. I love this old boot scraper. We have several boot scrapers in our house, so we're not gonna pick it up. And over here on the floor, there's an old cheese cutter, which is really interesting. I am so tempted by this scissors cut piece for $125 and it's on sale, but the age-old question, where will I put it? I love this collection of old mohair stuffed animals. Some of these are stiff. They are completely adorable, and this is another fabulous booth that is laid out in such an interesting way. I just wanted to show it to you. I wish I could show you more, but my battery is almost dead. Well, that was a great day of antiquing. We are slowly making our way to our hotel because we are so very tired. We're checking in. This hotel is nothing special, but it's going to get the job done. We're going to have some dinner and then call it a night. Eric and I got home from our thrifting adventures in Pennsylvania late last night. It was a bit of a harrowing drive home, 4.5 hours of intermittent rain and thick pea soup fog made for an interesting journey. We'll just say that much. Wilson has a lot to say about it in the background, as you can hear as well. But I'm so looking forward to really talking about the trip, because this is a great trip for you to take if you haven't been there, or maybe if you have been there and you just want to go again. Lancaster County is fantastic, and there are so many amazing antiques and vintage items to be had there. So I really want to walk you through it again, so you can either travel and shop vicariously through me, or you can plan a trip of your own if you're so inclined, and I would definitely recommend it. So I'm going to break this out into 3 separate videos. It's not going to be a part 1, part 2, part 3, because they'll all stand alone. But I really think that's the only way I can show you all of the interesting footage and really break down the haul without rushing or being inundated with stuff, because that's not as much fun, I think, as really talking about it and taking our time. So I hope that format works for you. We're definitely going to give it a try. I think it's going to work. As you saw from the footage, Eric and I left very early in the morning on Friday. So we left the house about 7 a.m. I am not a morning person, and I am not a delightful travel companion before my coffee has taken full effect, but we wanted to make the most of our time. We could really only stay over one night because Zach was able to watch the dogs and cats for us. So that was the window we had, and we were making the most of it. So we drove down, of course, to Pennsylvania. It was a really pretty drive, really no problems at all. And we stopped at 2 antique stores on our way to Adamstown. So Adamstown was the destination we had in mind. We had heard it was like the antiques capital of the US. I mean, we don't really need to hear a lot more than that. And we just wanted to check it out for ourselves. But on our way, we figured there's no rush. We can stop off if we see anything interesting. We love to do that. And we did. We came across 2 different antique stores that we thought we should check out. So the first one, I wrote this down so I can remember. The first one was Fleetwood Antiques Mall. And it was really very large. It was a huge building on the chilly side, but they had lots of interesting things and lots of furniture too, which I especially like. So many times antique stores just don't have much because space is at such a premium in an antique store. But this one had, it was a very large space. There were lots of dealers. There were all kinds of things. And I found the one item that I was most hoping to find. Let me show it to you. So I picked up this great quilt rack at that very first stop we made, and it's Victorian. I'm holding it up so you can see all of the details. I really like even the bottom of this, and I liked that it wasn't too long. A lot of times they're far too long and I feel like they wouldn't fit in the booth. This one is much more compact, and it's also tall, so things won't be so inclined to drag on the ground. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 poles for draping tablecloths and other linens at my booth space. And that's what I'm really wanting. So currently in my booth space, all of my linens, I don't have a ton, but I have a huge haul that will be coming in. You will see that in a future video. I have like 20 tablecloths that are vintage and really awesome. I need to wash them and press them and get them ready for my store. It's gonna take me some time, so I'll get there.
but I wanted to make sure that I didn't have them just folded and shoved in a bottom shelf, which is kind of how I have them now. And it's okay now because I only have a couple, but if I'm really gonna get a big collection of textiles, a quilt rack will be such a better way to showcase them. It will be so much easier for people to actually see them and to pull them out. And I want them to see them and pull them out so they can make sure that the pattern works for them. They can be doubly, triply, quadruply sure there are no stains or imperfections or other things that are gonna disappoint them when they get it home. So a quilt rack, I think, will be a fantastic way to do that. I've been wanting one for the longest time. And I find so many times, as I said, quilt racks can be just super long and it would just take up too much space. Sometimes I just find they're just clunky looking and inelegant. I don't like that. I didn't want something that was really super arched with a lot of wood showing. I didn't want anything with like hearts on the ends of it. That can be really cute, just not the look I was going for. I had seen a metal one that I had liked, but you know, the price wasn't right. This one, I think, is perfect. So it will go to my booth space. It will not be for sale, which I know can be annoying when things are not for sale, but I need it for display. So I was really hoping to find one during our travels to Pennsylvania, and the fact that I found one in the very first store seemed like a good omen. So after we left Fleetwood Antique Mall, I'm checking my notes again in case you're wondering what I'm looking at, we made our way closer to our destination and wanted to stop at the shops at Kirbyville. So another really fun stop. Oh my gosh, it was such an interesting place. It looked like maybe a barn that was converted or some kind of outbuildings. So there were just flights of stairs and interesting landings and little nooks and little like tucked in corners. It was an absolute maze. It reminded me of like an Escher painting. I guess Escher didn't make a painting, I guess an Escher drawing. Anyway, it reminded me of one of those convoluted buildings with lots of stairs that you see in Escher's work. And it was really fun to go through it. There was another couple that they were right around us as we were shopping, and they were having the same experience where they were like, I can't believe there's more. I can't believe there's more stairs. I can't believe this place keeps going. It was really amazing. And though we didn't buy anything there, it was a lot of fun to look around. And we were definitely getting like our antique juices flowing for when we hit the mother lode, which we did shortly after, and that was in Adamstown proper. Again, our destination. We went to, I want to make sure I say this right, the Mad Hatter Antiques. So I had read some Google reviews in advance and I knew that this was a big store, and I've been to humongous antique stores in the past, but I can tell you for absolute sure I have never been to one as large as this one. It was so massive and incredibly clean and organized. Oh my gosh, like organized beyond. But it was so massive, it was like almost hard to get a plan of attack. Like, where do you even start when there's so much to see? We tried to like stick to a system of like doing like the far left side and then working our way into the center. Like, we always try to have a plan of attack so we don't miss anything. But it was hard in this store. And I have to say, there were just so many beautiful things. It was truly a feast for the eyes, and we enjoyed just checking out all of their treasures. We ultimately didn't buy anything at that store because the prices were really high, and we had read that in the reviews, and I think their high prices are absolutely justified because it was only really top-end merchandise in a beautiful, huge store with comfortable temperature and bathrooms and snacks that you could buy. I mean, it was absolutely beautiful, beautiful things in a very populated touristy area that gets tons of traffic. I mean, if that isn't a place that has the right to charge full retail, I don't know what is. But Eric and I don't like to pay full retail. So even though it was fun to look, we didn't ultimately purchase anything because we both love a deal. And while they had fabulous things, there was nothing that called to us so strongly that we needed to bring it to our house. And there were no deals that might like cause us to pop on something we're on the fence about. So again, really fun to look. Nothing there though for us. So the one thing that I did decide to buy at Mad Hatter was this fabulous wooden purse with the great clasp on it and the like kind of psychedelic looking mushrooms. I just thought this was so very interesting. Let me open the latch for you so you can see the inside. Even the inside is painted. The receipt is still in here so I can keep track of it. It has feet on the bottom. And I just thought it was so good. And you can see like the little butterflies on top. So this little bag has been painted and decoupaged. It was $20. That was the list price, but they were having a sale. So I ended up paying with tax $16 and something cents, which was certainly not bad. Here's the receipt, $16.96 is what I ended up paying. And I thought that was a really fun souvenir of what can only be described as an amazing and humongous antique mall. To be honest, we didn't even go through the entire store because we were so hungry. It was time to eat, and we were really hopeful because there was a diner across the street, but it had just closed. It closes at like 1 o'clock. And at the time that we had gotten out and we were ready to eat, it was about 1:15. So we just missed it. But fortunately, my friend Denise, who's a viewer of this channel, hi Denise, if you're watching, she let me know that her husband, Bill, who makes pretty frequent trips to Pennsylvania, really enjoys a diner that was not far from us at all. And that was called, again, I wrote it down, Park Place Diner, which was awesome. We were so ready to like sit down and decompress, have some food, and figure out our next plan of attack. And I thought it would be fun as a counterbalance to the like really full retail experience to go to a thrift store and get a different kind of perspective of some things that might be for sale. So we did. We went to Welcome Home Thrift, which was in a beautiful building with a big, I don't know, it looked like a big clock tower. It was very crowded. There were so many people there. Clearly it was a good place to be. And as an added bonus, they were having a sale, 75% off holiday stuff and 75% off wall art. Well, what could be better than that, right? Because I love a sale, as I just said. And so I found quite a few things. So the first thing I picked up, I really like. It needs some furniture pen just to even out some of the wood tones that are like, they're not really chipped, they've just worn off. Needs a little attention, but not too much. I found this really fun print, and you can see it's a sledding scene. It looks like a group of Amish people with some dogs and geese and the horse. And I love the Christmas trees on this. It's definitely wintry, but it doesn't need to be Christmassy. So nice winter decor piece. You see the nice quilts on the sled. It has a lot of personality. It's a nice big size. You can see what I mean about the frame. There's like some dings and rubbing on it, but I can get a little furniture pen and make that better. I keep that in my bag of supplies when I go to my booth space. So this was $16, but then 75% off. And I thought that was a great buy. Oh, by the way, here is the back. It's called Christmas Eve Ride. It's by Diane Grabner. It was made in 2000 in Ohio. It's print 42 of 300. So it's got all of the interesting kinds of credentials on the back. And it's framed really nicely. So I thought that was a very fun find. And my plan will be to take this to my booth space. I also picked up this beautiful lamp. I love this lamp. Check out the base on this. Isn't it so, so pretty? I love all of this like lattice work and the flowers and vines. It's really, really beautiful. This was $8 and it has such a pretty little shade. The shade is in very nice condition. It's got the finial. So I thought this would be such a cute little piece for my booth space, and I was really glad to pick it up. But I have to say, I think the best bang for my buck was probably, it fell, but it didn't break. I'd say the best value was probably this collection of Lennox that I picked up that was all 75% off. So I'm going to show it to you on the table. So here's the little collection. As you can see, these are smallish pieces. They're small but mighty. Little bit of Lennox. Just really cute little trinket trays, or little, you could put little candies in this, of course, little peppermints, whatever floats your boat. But at 75% off, I thought they were nice. And I love the candlesticks, of course. My plan with this is going to be to store these until the next holiday season. And then I will put them on either on eBay, or I'll bring them to my booth space, whichever. This year, I definitely don't intend to pick up or store a lot of holiday stuff. I think I went overboard with that last year. But if I find things that are special and pretty and available for a great price, then I'm certainly willing to take the chance on them and do some storing until the time is right. And I thought these were really nice pieces. After Welcome Home Thrift, I had said to Eric, you pick the next place. I know thrift stores aren't so much his thing. He prefers antique stores. And so I said, you make the next choice. We'll stop wherever you want. And there were so many choices. I am sure that my footage did not convey to you how there was an antique store around every single corner. It was like a dream come true. I kept saying to Eric, I think we need to move here. Like, I think this is our place, because they were just everywhere and they were all so enticing. But of course, we didn't have the time or the energy to hit every single one. And by the way, they, for the most part, they close at 5 p.m. So you definitely do need to plan your time thoughtfully so you can get to the stores you most want to go to. And if you have days at your disposal, then you can be really methodical about it. We decided to be a little bit more impulsive about it and just kind of see what called to us, and we would go to those places. So the next one we went to that Eric picked was called Time Matters. And oh my gosh, it was very much an Eric store. It was very heavy on the mantiques. So lots of gas station signs, old soda signs, oil tins, all that kind of oil cans, all that kind of more like rusty mantique stuff. And Eric was really enjoying looking through it. However, again, it was full retail. And I can't stress it enough. That is not a criticism at all. They have every right to charge full retail for their beautiful curated store full of gems in a fabulous, well-trafficked touristy area. I mean, that makes all of the sense in the world. However, like I said, Eric and I, we like at least a little bargain unless our heart is set on something. And Eric was on that fine line where like everything was really interesting to him. He was enjoying looking at it. He would have probably liked to have picked up some things, but he just didn't like them enough to pay those full prices. And so if I'm honest, at that point, I think he was getting a little bit discouraged. And I think we were both feeling a little bit like, maybe the prices here are just not going to be what we're used to and what we want to spend for stuff. Maybe this wasn't a great like buying trip. Maybe this is more like a great looking trip. But I would be lying if I didn't say that when we take these kinds of trips, our goal really is to find stuff to bring home. So the next store we went to was called Lancaster County Antique Center. It was much the same. Beautiful curated store, full of fabulous things, very high prices. So we didn't spend a lot of time there. Our last stop in Adamstown was our absolute favorite. So we decided to go to Adams Antiques, and this store was absolutely fabulous. It was my favorite store that we went to in Adamstown by a long shot. Unfortunately, by the time we had gotten to that store, my camera was almost out of battery power. So I wasn't able to show you that much in the store, which I regret. But I will tell you again, beautifully laid out. They had great music in the background. It had just a really fun vibe to it. The booths were, I think, a little bit more unique and individual. I felt like there was more of a range of prices. I felt like there was definitely something for everyone at this store. I absolutely loved it. I almost bought a fabulous scissors cut picture that I loved. I ended up not getting it only because I didn't have a perfect space for it, and it was too expensive to buy for resale. So I left it, and I'm not really regretting it, but oof, it was tempting. The one thing that I did get though, I'm gonna show to you, they had tons and tons of jewelry. They had a nice combination of cases full of jewelry and other smalls that you couldn't, of course, handle because they were behind closed doors. And they also had lots of booths full of items that you could access and handle and maneuver, including some furniture, all kinds of things. But I found this beautiful silver thistle pendant. It needs to be polished. I'm not sure if you're seeing that super well. Actually, I think I'm gonna put this on the table. I absolutely love it. Here's a better look at the pendant. This is gonna shine up beautifully, but as you can see, it was $20. I love thistles, and I loved how this one's like in relief. It's not kind of flat. I like how the leaves kind of pop out. I thought that was really pretty. I have lots of chains that this will look nice on, and I was really super happy to find this piece. It will be such a nice reminder of the trip. We stayed at Adam's Antiques until it closed. We actually didn't even leave there until probably 10 or quarter after 5. And everybody was so nice there. They didn't rush us at all. They had locked the door so nobody else would come in, but they were so lovely, and I would definitely go back there again in a heartbeat. I would definitely recommend it to you. I did not go to every antique store in Adamstown. I don't even know how you could. I guess somebody who is really tenacious and persistent and determined could do it. I guess it would be like the equivalent of going to every square inch of Brimfield. I've never done that either. Frankly, it just sounds sort of daunting and exhausting, but I guess, yeah, if you had a couple of days, you probably could go to every antique store in Adamstown. But if, like me, you find that you don't have all of the time in the world and you just want to get a sense of things, I would say you definitely have to go to Mad Hatter Antiques, and I would spend lots of time in Adam's Antiques. And again, if I went back to that area, and I would imagine that I will do that, I think sooner rather than later, I would for sure return to Adam's Antiques. So we got to go to lots of stores in not a lot of time. We were not fooling around. We wanted to see what we could see. My film, my camera, my battery was done, and I had to plug into the car so that we could find directions to our hotel. We stayed at a Hilton DoubleTree. It was no great shakes. The trip was planned in such a last minute way. We just didn't have a lot of options available for places to stay. There were some places we had heard of, but they were booked. So again, we were just making the best of an opportunity we weren't expecting, and that worked for us. So I hope you enjoyed the sort of day one of Adamstown. I have more footage to share with you for a future video and a lot more in terms of a haul. That's going to focus more on thrifting, which we did the next day, and we did not do it in Adamstown. We kind of moved all over the place. So that's coming. Don't miss it. And I hope I maybe inspired you to perhaps visit the area yourself, or if I didn't, I hope you enjoyed thrifting with me, because sometimes that's just as good, right? So I would love to hear from you in the comments. I would love to know, what did you like? What did you see in the footage that really caught your attention? Was there anything that I didn't pick up that you think I should have? Was there an antique store that you would definitely check out yourself? Or have you been to Adamstown and you have a different favorite store that I didn't even go to? Again, I would love to hear from you in the comments.
By the way, in case you're wondering how our fur babies did without us, this was Iris and Indy's first time with us away overnight. Everybody did really well. I think they benefited from Zach being home. He was working on some school stuff, so he was home both days. They had lots of company, plenty of attention. So when we got home, they were happy to see us, but not frantic to see us, and that's a good thing.
So that's what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit like. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you subscribe to my channel. It's free to do and really helps my channel grow. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a great day. And I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.